This video blog is directed at two groups of people. Group 1, my fellow Americans who are conservatives, libertarian, or independent. And Group 2, those of you who call yourself liberal or who have voted Democrat in the last two elections and plan on voting for Hillary Clinton in this year's election. To Group 2, you play an integral part in ruining this once great country of ours, and I cannot bring myself to call you fellow Americans. Hopefully you will eventually gain the knowledge and good judgment to realize your mistakes and change your view of what's going on in our country and where the blame should be. This will be my first blog of many, and I can promise you I will not be silent any longer. As a 20-year veteran of the United States Submarine Force, I am appalled, insulted, angry, and fed up with the State of the Union. I'm also sick and tired of the arrogance and blatant disregard for the Constitution by President Barack Hussein Obama and his supporters in Washington, D.C. It's astonishing to me that about half of the people in this country are willing to allow his policies and weak leadership to continue for another 4 to 8 years by electing Hillary Clinton. Maybe you're watching this and you're just ignorant to the fact that we are all getting screwed by the very same people who are supposed to be leading this country, the federal government. The commander-in-chief of our federal government, who is supposed to be a constitutional scholar, has violated the Constitution more than anyone in history. And guess what? Sharia law says the Constitution is a man-made document of ignorance that must submit to Sharia law. What does that tell you about Obama? He has shown all of America he is a sympathizer to radical Islam. He is weak as a military leader, and he is willing to put all of us at risk of violence of terrorists by allowing thousands of refugees into our country, after ISIS leaders have already stated that they were going to infiltrate those refugees to get into our country. Let me say this to my black friends, to you non-radical followers of the Islamic faith, to you folks on welfare, and to women who typically vote Democrat. If you think Hillary Clinton and the Democrats are good for you, you're badly misinformed. If all you watch is the mainstream media or listen to your liberal friends, then you probably believe that the economy is fine and we are safe from attacks from ISIS. If you think Obama, Joe Biden, Harry Reid, Nancy Pelosi, and Hillary Clinton are good for this country and care about you, then you're either just plain ignorant to what's going on around you, you're one of them, you just don't care, or you're just an idiot. Here is some info based on facts for you black Americans who have voted for the Democratic Party for the last 40 years. Jesse Jackson blames the Republican Party for the problems in the black communities. But in most cities that are decimated by crime and poverty, Democrats have been and are currently in control. Democratic politicians show up to black churches on Sunday before an election, but after that they treat you like dirt. They treat you as an afterthought and do nothing for you. All they have to do is brand their Republican opponents as a racist, and they get 90% of your vote. Doesn't that make you feel foolish and used? Black Americans are thriving in the Republican Party right now. On top of that, Michael Steele was the first black Republican National Committee chairman. Condoleezza Rice and Colin Powell were the first and second black secretaries of state. Just read about Ben Carson and why he ran for president on the Republican ticket in this election and why he's backing Donald Trump now. Think about this. Many black Americans see eye to eye with Republicans on many social issues including abortion, gay marriage, being friendly to Christianity, illegal immigration, and school choice. When you as a black American vote Democrat, here's what you're voting for. You're voting to lose your job to an illegal immigrant. You're voting to trap your child in a lousy school. You're voting to get career criminals released back into your neighborhoods. Listen to these stats that show the Democratic Party hasn't improved conditions for black Americans over the last 8 years under Obama. Currently, black males are 6 times as likely to be in prison as white males. Black Americans make up 49% of the homicide victims. Almost 72% of all black Americans are born out of wedlock. Black Americans are twice as likely to drop out of high school. Listen, voting for the Republican Party won't fix these things overnight, but the Democrats have failed you miserably. Isn't it time to give somebody like Donald Trump a chance to not only help America great again, help America be great again, but to improve the chances for black communities to thrive. The other topic I want to touch on in this blog is the recent decision by the FBI Director James Comey to recommend criminal charges not be brought against Hillary Clinton. This decision, made after they have evidence that proves she had more than one unauthorized email server, and 110 classified emails improperly stored on those servers during her term as Secretary of State. And then she lied to the American people and to Congress about it. Let's not forget that a week ago, Bill Clinton incidentally met with the Attorney General, Loretta Lynch, on her private plane, and all they allegedly talked about was their grandchildren and golf. Horseshit. Think about this. Based on this conclusion by the Federal Bureau of Investigation, Richard Nixon was not a crook for the 18 minutes of recordings that he erased, and he was forced to resign as president. Marine Corps Major Jason Bresler was forced out of the Marine Corps for one classified email that he discovered he had on his personal computer. He sent that email to his superiors in order to warn his fellow Marines of impending danger. So this guy attempted to save lives by sending one email. Hillary had 110 classified emails on an unsecured server as a matter of her personal convenience. Where's the justice? Is this not a double standard? Here's another. Edward Snowden, a former NSA contractor who was labeled as a whistleblower when he leaked classified documents to a journalist. These documents proved that the NSA had been illegally gathering private information from people all over the world, including you and I. He sent a tweet last week in the wake of the Hillary investigation, and his tweet said, "Break classified material rules for the public's benefit and you could be exiled," which he was. Do it for personal benefit and you could be president. He's got a point, huh? Now, whether this decision by the FBI Director and the Attorney General to not prosecute was right or wrong in accordance with the law or even in your personal opinion, the questions you've got to ask yourself are, do you as a citizen of these United States really want a president who has been proven to be, in the words of the FBI Director, extremely careless and negligent with information that could be inherently dangerous to the security and safety of the United States of America? Do you really want a president who would so blatantly lie to you on television over and over again about something she is under a criminal investigation for? Now, don't get me wrong. I understand and agree that just about all politicians, Democrat, Republican, or Independent, lie. They will lie to get reelected, and they will lie to make themselves look better to the people who voted for them. But Hillary Clinton is a professional liar, and she and her husband Bill have left hundreds of lives in turmoil and dozens of families without loved ones due to her inability to truly care for the American people and her extremely bad judgment. Do you trust her to make decisions that could determine the safety and security of your family and your property? So I'm going to close with this. Do yourself a favor and go rent or buy the movie 13 Hours. It's the real story of the Benghazi attack that left Chris Stevens, our ambassador to Libya, Sean Smith, a U.S. Foreign Services employee, and 2 Navy SEALs, Glenn Doherty and Tyrone Woods, dead. Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama blamed the attack on a propaganda video that insulted the Prophet Muhammad. This attack occurred on September 11, 2012, a couple of months before the presidential election. The Obama campaign had been touting the fall of terrorism and claimed they had defeated ISIS, so they did everything they could do to fool the American people into thinking this was a spontaneous riot over a video and not a planned attack. By the way, even after multiple pleas for help, there was no help provided, and Hillary and Obama slept through most of the attack. Roll Tide.